What happens when a Kentucky Derby winner, a champion, and one of the fastest rising stars in all of racing show up in the same grade one? Well, that's not the beginning of a joke. That's exactly what we're getting in this year's Stephen Foster at Churchill Downs. A win and you're into the Breeders' Cup Classic. Kentucky Derby winner Sovereignty, champion older horse White Abarrio, rising stars of Magnitude and Baeza, 7 horses, 1 race. $2 million on the line. How will you find your winner? Facts and figures are going to give you that winning edge. I give you the stats, you make the picks. I'm more from trifecta and a little bit extra, and this is your premiere preview of the Stephen Foster. Saturday, June 27th at Churchill Downs. Now, if you've been following this division, you know Sovereignty and White Abarrio, they recently met up. And White Abarrio came out on top. So will that Kentucky Derby winner turn the tables this time? Or will that older champion horse show he's still the one to beat? Then there's Magnitude, the wild card, the rising star looking to shake the earth in the older horse division. This isn't any just grade one race. Oh no, this is one of the biggest races all summer at Churchill Downs. I always like to begin with race architecture because for you to understand a race, you need to know where it starts and ends on the track and how the track configuration can play a role in how the race can be won. The Stephen Foster is a 1.125 miles. The start is near the center of the home stretch. So horses, they really want to get into position before that first turn so they're not caught wide. But for this race, we only have 7 horses, so the risk of that lessened. And we know the stretch at Churchill Downs is long, long enough to assist closers, 1,234 feet. But here's what's really interesting about this race. It doesn't appear that we have any real off the pace deep closer types. Maybe Baeza. Baeza in his last 3 races was 4 to 6 lengths off the leader at the half call, but prior races, not including the Kentucky Derby, he was much more tactical. So which Baeza are we going to see? Now, I think I'm trying to understand the pace of this race. Super interesting because look at what happened the last time Sovereignty and White Abarrio met up in the Oaklawn Handicap. Sovereignty, he found himself on the lead. White Abarrio was tracking right behind him. Now, this is important. Are we seeing a shift in Sovereignty's running style? Or is it just because he has so much natural speed? Prior to the Belmont, he was way off the pace. That was Belmont of last year. Now, since the Belmont, he's been 1 to 2 lengths off the leader at the half call. This horse has enough natural speed to put himself wherever the race takes him. Now, looking at the Stephen Foster, we've got 2 horses. They prefer to be right on the lead or near the lead, Willy D's and Forge Steel. But do they have what it takes to control a race with some of this star power we're seeing? And then there's Magnitude. Now, he's got the ability to get to the lead. He's got the ability to go and win gate to wire or just sitting right off of it. So there's going to be several pace scenarios we need to consider. Willie D's and Forge Steel, they go to the lead and Magnitude sits right behind them. Or does Magnitude take control? Very likely scenario given his speed and ability. Or do the tactical stars of Sovereignty and White Abarrio find themselves up front and not being even asked to do so? And if that happens, man, that could be dangerous for the rest of the field because you're going to have 2 of the best horses in the race dictating the terms. Now, let's talk about those contenders. Willie D's, he is trained by Mike Maker and ridden by Luis Saez. As a 5-year-old, this horse has raced 27 times. 1-7. Now, he's been a Mike Maker trainee since March 2025. 11 races with Maker, and he's finished on the board in all but 2 of those races. So he seems to be really flourishing under Mike Maker. His last 2 races, win a baby. In a stakes race at Oaklawn last time out, he went gate to wire. Now, he battled it out to get that win by a neck. He certainly can get this distance. He's tried a 1.125 miles 6 times on the board, actually in the exacta 5, winning 2 times and coming in second 3 times. So what's not to like? Well, The class of runners he's been up against, not as strong as today's competition. The classiest race he won was a G3 back in March, the Grade 3 Kentucky Cup Classic at Turfway on the synthetic. Can he step up? Sure. He's been in two G2 races. The G2 Charlestown Classic, this distance last August, came in second with Luis Saez as his jockey. The other was the Grade 2 Lucas Classic right here at Churchill Downs last September, this distance. He went to the lead, but then he just weakened and he finished last. Now, in his defense, he had been racing every month from March to September, so maybe he just needed some time off. This horse's best chances to win are to get to the lead and go gates wire. He did that in 4 of his 7 wins. Or just sit right ahead behind the leader at the half call, did that in 2. This is going to be his toughest field that he's ever faced. And we know he's going to want to be part of that early pace. Question is, can he hold off the star power that's going to be behind him to hit the board? His best speed rating is at 100 Beyer at this distance, and that does put him behind many of the other runners. But sometimes when you just get to that next level of competition, it brings out another level in you. Just know he may not show up here. He is cross-entered into the Texas Turf Classic Stakes at Lone Star Park. Now our next horse, he may be 7 years old, but man, does this horse keep showing up. He razzles, he dazzles, he improves. White Abarrio, trained by Saffie Joseph Jr., ridden by top jockey Irad Ortiz Jr. If you want class, speed, experience at this distance, look no further than White Abarrio. 26 lifetime races, almost half the time in the winner's circle. Lifetime earnings of $8 million. And it isn't that he just keeps on winning. He is winning quality graded stakes races, high speed ratings. He even improved his speed rating in that very last race. This horse, he is all class. Out of the 26 lifetime races, 22 have been graded stakes. He's tried this distance 11 times, more than any other horse in this field, and he's won 4. One of the most notable wins, very last race, the G2 Oaklawn Handicap in April. He meets up with Sovereignty, also in this race, and Journalism. 2 4-year-old powerhouses. Now he shoots out of post position 1. White Abarrio, Sovereignty, Journalism, they go to the lead. He sits back behind Sovereignty on the rail. Going around that far turn, Sovereignty and Journalism, they are out front. But White Abarrio, he revs it up. He goes 3 wide. He surges past them. He wins by 2 lengths, and he earns a top Beyer speed figure of, get this, 111. Now, since then, he's had 2 months off. Strong workouts, including a bullet on June 11th. And he's got a top jockey who's been on him 13 times. He is dangerous. Now, one interesting thing to note, though, he's only ever really raced at Churchill Downs twice. And the last time he was here, Kentucky Derby 2022. And in that race, he finished 16th. Now, before we move on, if you're getting some value here, go ahead and tell YouTube, show this video to others just like you by hitting that like button and also dropping a comment. Y'all know how much I love the comments. And also consider subscribing. Triple Crown may be over, but we got Saratoga on tap, Breeders' Cup, then back to our Triple Crown season. Now, back to the contenders. Just like White Abarrio, our next horse, he's only raced twice at Churchill Downs, and both times, winners. And yes, one was the Kentucky Derby. We're talking about last year's King of the 3-year-olds, reigning horse of the year. And now I'm all out of punts. Yes, we are talking about Sovereignty. Trained by Bill Mott, he gets regular rider of Junior Alvarado aboard. Sovereignty, he's raced 4 times since winning the Kentucky Derby, and he has finished first in all of those races, except for the last one. He won the Travers by 10 lengths over Magnitude, who is in this race. But after taking nearly 9 months off, he lost by 2 lengths to White Abarrio. Did he just need a race under him, and is he poised for this rematch? In all the races since, and including the Kentucky Derby, he has been posting triple-digit Beyers, including a 115 in the Travers. Now, what I find really interesting is that since the Belmont, he is much closer to the pace. He's sitting 1 to 2 lengths off the leader at the half call. And in that last race, he was even leading. Did he just change his running style? Or is he just so powerful that he could get that close and it is just effortless? Now, I'm going to share some pictures with you that I got of him at Churchill Downs in May. I went to watch the horses train for the Kentucky Derby, and boy, did he catch my eye. He is strong. He is powerful. He is coming to a track he obviously loves, and he's second off the layoff. For me personally, should not ignore him. And boy, is this going to be a great rematch with White Abarrio. Now, coming from post position 4 is the other Belmont trainee, Baeza. Baeza may create the buzz, buzz, buzz every time he met up with Sovereignty, but Sovereignty has remained the queen bee. See, I got one more pun in there. Now, they have met up 3 times last year. Kentucky Derby, Belmont, Jim Dandy. Sovereignty reigned in all 3. Baeza was third, except the Jim Dandy when he finished second. But then, out of Sovereignty's shadow, he goes to the G1 Pennsylvania Derby in September. There he meets up with Magnitude, who's also in this race. Now, he comes from behind. He has to go wide. He wins by 2 1/4 lengths, and he gets his top buyer yet of a 105. First time under Bill Mott, he's entered into the Alley Sheba in May here at Churchill Downs, going 1 1/16. He was restless at the gate. He hesitated. He lunges at the start, but he's able to rally, finishes third with a 97 buyer speed rating. Now, he's going to need to improve his speed to contend with White Abarrio and Sovereignty, but with a better start, improvement second time out as a 4-year-old. And if the pace does heat up, we're looking at a track that's good for those closers. So he may be really competitive here, but for me personally, I like him more to hit the board. Next up, we have Magnitude, who's looking to shake the earth on Saturday. Can he rebound from his big effort halfway across the world in Dubai? Trained by Steve Asmussen, he gets top jockey Kentucky Derby winner Jose Ortiz aboard. Now, in his last 7 races, Magnitude has hit the board in every single one, winning 5, including his last 3. The only time he didn't win, however, was when he faced Sovereignty in the Travers and then Baeza in the Pennsylvania Derby. But is now his time to shine. He wins the G2 Clark in November right here going this distance. He stalks the leaders. He wins with a 101 buyer. Then he goes to the G3 Razorback at Oaklawn, 1 1/16 in February. He wins by 3, but that wasn't a real competitive field. But then comes that trip to Dubai, the G1 Dubai World Cup. He is facing Forever Young, the Breeders' Cup Classic winner. Magnitude rides the rail and impressively goes gate to wire to win that race. What a performance. So he's got the goods. But can he come back now and win the Stephen Foster? A trip to Dubai, that takes a lot out of a horse. It's like a 13-hour flight. You got time changes. You have routine changes. You have a demanding race. 2025 winner, Hit Show. 2022 winner, Country Grammar. They get 2 months off before their next American race, and they only finish 3rd and 4th, respectively. Will 3 months be the trick? Now, I believe Curlin has been the only American horse in the last 17 years to go to Dubai, win the Dubai World Cup, and come back with 3 months of rest and win his next American race. And guess what race that was? The Stephen Foster. Magnitude, he has been training since early May. He just even put a bullet workout down June 13th, right here at Churchill Downs. 5 furlongs going 59 and change. His speed ratings, they need to improve to match Sovereignty and White Abarrio. But man, is he looking to shake things up on Saturday. Post position 6, Forge Steel. He is the second horse in the Safi Joseph Jr. trio, ridden by Johnny Velasquez. 4-year-old colt by Vacoma, 18 lifetime starts, 10 on the turf. Now, he has 3 wins on the dirt. His last win, though, was the most impressive. In the G2 Hollywood Gold Cup at Santa Anita, going 1.25 miles, he goes right to the lead and he wins by, get this, 9.5 lengths. He's also posted his best speed figure in that race, a 102 buyer. But who did he really beat that day? Not the same caliber of horses you're going to see in this field. Now, he's likely to be part of the pace. This is a horse who likes to be on or near the lead. But can he really keep that lead once White Abarrio and Sovereignty and Magnitude get moving? For me, it's really difficult to see how Forged Steel wins this race. And finally, we have Navajo Warrior, the last of the Safi Joseph Jr. trio. He gets Tyler Gaffleone aboard, a 5-year-old colt at a candy ride with 9 wins, including his last 2 races. But like some of the other runners, he may just have a tough time competing with this group of horses. All of his races have been maiden races or allowance races up until that very last race when he competed in the G3 Pimlico Special at Laurel. He goes to the lead. Now, he was pressured, but he put his foes away and he won by 2 3/4 lengths with a 101 buyer. But again, that group of horses, not the same caliber we're seeing today. Now, as for his running style, we really see things more tactical than that last race. He likes to be 1 to 2 lengths off the leader at the half call. He's certainly on the improve. He's gaining confidence. But for me, again, it's tough to see how he wins this race. Now is my favorite part of the video. We have a star-studded showdown on Saturday, and I want to know, who do you like in the Stephen Foster? Drop it in the comments below. Y'all know how I love the comments. Go ahead and hit like and subscribe if you haven't done so yet, and also consider joining my newsletter. That information is in the description of the video, but also in a pinned comment. What do you get in the newsletter? Well, I give you news. I give you behind the scenes looks and invitation to events. I hope you all find your winner on Saturday and sashay away with your money. Until next time, cheers.